Hi everybody, welcome. We're going to use these components to take our first step, and that's identifying the possibilities. And when we do that, right, we know that geographic and demographic variables tend to be the easiest to break down. These other behavioral benefits, psychographic variables, they're more difficult. We're going to need better information from our organization and from the outside world to kind of use those variables some more. Your challenge is I want you to be able to take the market overall and break it down into distinct descriptors using this kind of process. So for example, I'll use age in this case, taking my circle pie and breaking this market down by, as you see, age, because it made sense. You know, the 18 to 25-year-old market thinks about my business differently than the over 55-year-old market. Okay, so this tends to be, right, demographic, an example of taking the overall demand and breaking it down using just age, because age, you said, right, was a variable that the markets looked at us differently. 18-year-olds thought about my bowling center differently. Their needs and wants were different than a 55-year-old in this case. Conversely, using other types of descriptors will help us really end up with not just an age as a variable that helps us look at that market. We would use other descriptors like an 18-year-old male who's interested in competitive bowling and socializing with friends, having fun at the same time. That would be a descriptor of a whole human that comes, or that we're marketing toward in that example. So when we know those other details, like they're frugal, they love being different, they're influenced by their peers, packaging of this experience is important, but they're really tech savvy, right? They're inquisitive. That is a different feeling than just knowing age as a breakdown. So we want to move towards a more sophisticated target marketing, and there's lots of variables that we can use, but there's lots of challenges I recognize with trying to really understand the market in such great detail that we could create a description like that. We are going to help make that happen this semester though. So here's an experience seeker. That's how they describe this market. And Tourism Australia undertook a research project which identified common segments across different cultures that would be receptive to the Australian experience and called them the experience seeker. This target market is highly predisposed to Australia's offer and is more likely to stay longer, spend more, and disperse to different regional areas. They are by definition looking for unique, involving, and personal experiences from their holidays. Using psychographic research, studies find how travelers think and feel to determine personal factors that influence them to travel. Experience seekers are long-haul travelers who are less likely affected by traditional barriers to travel, distance, time, and cost. They are more informed, they're interested and curious about travel destinations. They're about 30 to 50% of all potential outbound travelers from the key sources. So moving down, here's what they want out of the experience. And that's actually on the website for Tourism Australia that describes this market. They want social interactions and personal experiences. They want to meet and interact with locals. They're not going to fast food restaurants that's a chain they can get in their home area. They are looking for authentic experiences, right? They want to experience something different from their normal day-to-day life. They understand and learn about different lifestyles and cultures. They want to participate in it. They want to challenge themselves, etc. That type of visitor is way different than just thinking about anybody is interested in coming to Australia. Here's just an organic bakery, and they've done the same thing. So we could take something big like the travel company, the travel department for the country of Australia, but now we're just going to take a bakery. And the ideal customer at their bakery is willing to take a little extra time and spend a little extra money to eat healthy, naturally grown food in the morning. He or she knows the difference between store-bought or street-vendored baked goods. make no promises about quality, and those that do, the customer knows that organic food tastes as good as or better than conventional grown food and believes that there does not need to be any difference between eating what is good for the environment and eating what is healthy. This ideal customer would look for organic labels in grocery stores and be more inclined to buy from socially conscious brands everywhere. So they're serving people in the valley that commute through the city on a daily basis. They live or work within a 5-mile walk. They believe in nutritional value in organic baked goods. They believe in paying a premium for high-quality products. They're 22 to 40 years old. They have professional jobs, and they earn $40,000 a year at least. I see that person in such greater detail than I do anybody who wants to come to my bakery. Okay, so we will ask you to do the same thing, and that is take a look at each of those types of variables and tell me and tell your organization, should they take and have a mass market or break it into segments. So in this case, the target market was grandparents, that one of our student marketing plans, and they looked at all the variables and used data to support what they learned. So again, once again, you're going to have to go into secondary data sources to help you understand things about these market segments. You know, what do you know about grandparents? Well, we know that most grandparents no longer are working, but they're collecting additional methods of income like Social Security with a mean of about $18,000 of retirement income a year. That data was from the U.S. Census Bureau. We can understand about markets when we do our research. Moving down to spending patterns, we see here spending ranges from small gifts and larger contributions for educational expenses, living expenses, and finally assistance with medical or dental expenses. There's a study done about senior spending that can help us learn about their needs and wants and their behaviors so we can decide if we're going to target them or not and if this makes sense for our business. This was for a zoo, and this was male and female college students. So again, meaning there was no difference in the needs between males and females, so we could just say college students within a 30-mile radius of Grand Rapids. And this is a zoo using all the variables to describe them, and again, using data to support the information that was gathered. So students on average earn $600 per month, according to data from State University 2013, knowing they have some income. Conversely, here's leisure travels. Residents of Michigan with 160 miles of Muskegon for the Muskegon Convention and Visitors Bureau. They're 30 to 54 with income of $50,000 or more in children, preschool to preteen. Demographic variables, and again, travel facts and statistics. The U.S. Travel Association could tell us a lot about travelers that look like that. Other sources, again, the American Fact Finder can tell us about what's going on in this area of geography, 160 miles from Muskegon. So take a look at these examples. And again, here is for a yogurt company. They were looking at Grand Rapids families with children between 1 and 5. Very specifically targeting very young children, right, in these families to make a difference. So take a look at these as we move forward, and then we're going to start to move towards understanding their needs and behaviors better.